Boy, catch a bagoose. Hello. Boy, catch a bagoose. Oh. Hello. Boy, catch a bagoose. Oh. Hello. Hey, Coke. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Coke. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Coke. Can you guys hear me? Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. Am I the only one hearing that echo? Am I the only one hearing that echo? Yep. Okay. Hold on. Yep. Okay. Apologies. Hi. Welcome to the chaos. This is what I get for not streaming for 22 days, I guess. Oh boy. But hey, it's good to be back. Learning new things is good. Yeah. I'm also very happy to be able to see you guys on the screen at last. That was this week's... My two major assignments for myself this week was learning how to... Gal dang it with the ads. It's one thing after another. Alright, but yeah, my two major goals for the week was trying to join the rest of the civilized streaming world and adding the chat into the corner, because it always just looks better to have that there. And then figuring out how I could actually get some YouTube videos running, because honestly, there's plenty of need to get you a bit that says there's ads playing. Yeah, that would definitely be helpful. Bot? Oh, a bot. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm clearly making a mess of everything tonight, so I think we'll take the baby steps on that. But regardless, what was I saying? It's a little toasty, and I can't go running the loud, obnoxious AC while I'm streaming. But the other thing was running YouTube videos, because I figured, you know what, there's a wealth of kaiju content out there, including from some of my friends in the community. So I thought it would be very pleasant to just, once in a while, just actually react to some kaiju content or something else that I find particularly worth it. But, I guess I can bring the music back now. This is my worst run stream ever. There we go. I'm sorry. One of these days. So, I hope you are all well. Haven't streamed for about a month because we got incredibly busy with a lot of things. Not the least of which was finally getting a chance to go and hit up Godzilla Fest in Chicago. We have gone to that convention for 17 years. I mean, we had 2 years with the delightful virus, so we didn't make it to those. Yeah, G-Festo! We did, obviously nobody went for those glory years, but we have been 17 years. If you have Seribot, one of the functions is notifying of ad breaks and that they are done. Also good for getting rid of spam bots if you were wanting recommendations. No, I will take it. Thank you, Aniki. Yeah, for sure. Just trying to optimize my silly little adventures would be a good thing. But yeah, we have gone for a long time. We have been going since 2008 and continuously, and there have been up years and down years, but I have never regretted one of them, because it is still a very fun place to be as a kaiju fan and fan of Japanese cinema in general. And we've got so many awesome friends now that that's just kind of become the central point of enthusiasm for all of us anyway, is just getting together with the fam, the bros, the peeps. It just makes it all that much more worth looking forward to. There were some downsides. I was very, very annoyed this year that I was not able to take my cosplay. I was so close. Let's see if I can find it here. I finished it, or at least what I thought was pretty finished, and I was looking forward to running the suit, but unfortunately it did not work out because my dumbass did not rent a large enough vehicle, because I do not take my personal car into Chicago. I just know in my heart of heart that is going to be the day when it decides to give up the ghost, so I just said, nope, I will continue the tradition of getting a nice rental car. And it was not sufficient for carrying me and Minty and my brother and the costume, because the costume was pretty much a whole other person by itself, and then you had our luggage, so that didn't work out so good. But this was the suit. This was my Utsuno costume, which I've put on my socials, but at the very least I can give it a little bit more work, I guess. The wings were okay, but they weren't quite what I was hoping for, and the skirt section honestly needed a little bit more work, but I was still, thank you. Thank you, Sentai. Thank you, Gok. I was just annoyed because every costume is a struggle, and the skirt didn't quite turn out the way I wanted. The wings were just okay, and to be honest, it is way heavier than I meant it for it to be. But regardless of that fact, I did at least get the majority of the work done. So by next year, at least, it'll be pretty much good to go, and I can just do some tidying up on it and make it look a bit improved, which would be a great thing. But it was an awesome time. We got to hang out with good friends that we see every year. We got to hang out with some good friends that we only see every so often, particularly our dear lad Dan from the UK, and he brought along another buddy. Oh, you're actually Sentai. I didn't even realize you're a first-time chatter. Welcome. Sorry, my brain is scattered to the winds at the moment, but no, we are all about... Speaking of Sentai, though, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Speaking of Super Sentai, I'll jump the gun a little bit here on my intended order of discussion, but every year, one of the things I do like to keep an eye out for when we are at the convention are just sort of the random fun little bits and pieces of merch. Don't really go on Twitch often. I don't care too much about all the details myself. Okay. But, I mean, that's fair. But sometimes Godzilla Fest offers more than just Godzilla and specifically kaiju-related things that I'm interested in. And in the autograph room, they do have little tables set up with some things to purchase and whatever, and you never quite know what you're going to find in there. And this year I was absolutely thrilled because I found this. It's an autographed little mini, I wouldn't say it's like a mini poster, it's about 11 by 17 inches, but I saw that sitting there, and I've actually only just begun on Bioman. I think I'm only about 4 or 5 episodes in, but I already adore this show, and having a piece of signed memorabilia of it, I was just like, ah, yeah. Heck yeah. So I gobbled it up quickly because I wanted to... it wasn't that expensive at all. Like, for what seems to be a pretty old piece. Like, I know this is the Red Ranger in the show, can't remember if this is yellow. I think this is yellow. Again, I only just started the series, but I freaking love Bioman already, dude. It is a great show. I'm gonna be the guy that says it, but I think best Sentai opening theme song ever. And I've listened to all of the openings, even if I've never seen all the shows, and I love the jams, but hot damn, I love this song. Like this, the Bioman opening song is permanently on my workout playlist. Like, that song gets me pumped. Absolutely gets me pumped. Bioman. So, no, I am absolutely loving it. And it was awesome to find that little piece. So, I'm very happy about that. But, no, the convention was fantastic. Will say that it got a little too crowded. I mean, we've been going so long that I remember the beauty days when we were only about 2,000 people deep at our height, when it was far more niche. Now, the estimations on this year, we're talking about like 9,000 people at the most throughout a day over the weekend, and that's awesome that we're growing. Wonder what the world of Toke would be like if Saban's attempt at adapting Bioman was approved. I know! That would have been very interesting, historically speaking. It's crazy how each year is a record-breaking year. I love Bioman. I wish we knew what happened to the first Yellow 4 actors. Oh, interesting. Okay. Once I get a little bit deeper into it, I will have to explore that trivia, because, yeah, I adore the show so far. I watched the pilot episode, couple episodes with my best friend, and we were quoting the whole "For the Man" thing for like 2 weeks. But no, just Godzilla Fest is growing exponentially every year, and it's awesome. It means that it's good. Kaiju is healthy. Godzilla has never really been in a better place in America because he's popular again. He's winning awards. The movies are pretty good for the most part. The kids are getting into it, and that's what you want in your franchise, is longevity via young fans. But damn, it's frustrating when you can't even get to a costume parade or do certain things because the lines have suddenly turned into Disneyland. So yeah, it's the balancing act, and it's the mixed blessing and curse of it all, but it was still good, and I'm still very happy that we have continued to be able to go and spend time with our friends and just get away, enjoy the hobby. It's wonderful. But you're not wrong about the rabbit hole thing, though, Snapshottiger, because the new Ultraman TO episode is going to premiere tonight, so I might be silent for a bit when that starts. Oh, well, thank you. Like, I know I know I am not top tier Twitch, but I appreciate you regardless. It's just you got to check your show, man. I am admittedly not much into Ultraman either. I watched Ultraman Max. I have the original series and Ultra 7 and Ultra Q on physical media, though I haven't gotten through all of them. I will, because I very much love the Toho family of actors, and I know there's a lot of them at the start of the Ultraman franchise. So I'm looking forward to those, but Ultraman essentially was too daunting when I looked into it. I was just like, nah, I'm gonna have to pick and choose. There's way too much, and I'm already into too many franchises that are very, very lengthy, including some of the ones that you can see on the wall behind me here, between Kaiju, Rangers / Sentai, and Mr. Tora-san here. So, yeah, I've been meaning to watch the early 2000s Ultra series, Max, Mabius, Nexus. That era of Tokusatsu is really nostalgic. I love Heisei era stuff, just regardless almost of what it is. It's like the best Sentai shows. My favorite Sentai shows were all the ones from the Heisei era, which, you know, Jetman, Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger. I finished all of those because I just loved the Heisei vibe and the Heisei look. I think Heisei was just a great era for tokusatsu in general. No, for sure. For absolutely sure. It bothers me a little that some fans just have to pit Sentai and Power Ranger against each other. Yeah. Like, I love them both. Obviously, I grew up on Power Rangers. I grew up and finally got around to watching Zoo Ranger, and it was a revelation, and it was a joy, and it didn't make me love American Rangers any less, but it just was like, holy shit, the old stuff is so good. And Bandora is amazing, and the old Rangers are amazing, and the storylines are nuts, but I love them. And I loved Jetman made me cry. I loved Jetman. Speaking of intro songs that are absolute bangers, holy frick. Die Ranger was cool, but holy crap, that would not have lasted in the States. Yeah. Die Ranger was a trip, man. But they're all so good. Oh, yeah. My memory is kicking in. I know what you mean now. Yeah, the little ornery ranger. Yeah, we'll call him ornery because that's probably the safest way to put it. But no, I love the option. You know, like I love the fact that we have both available to us. You know, you can watch the Americanized shows. You can watch the Japanese originals. I feel the same way about the Godzilla series as well. I love the option of being able to jump back and forth between dubs versus subs, American cuts versus Japanese cuts, whatever. To me, it enriches the experience rather than diminishes it. And that's why I just wish some fanboys would be a little less uptight about this stuff. Because I've heard those people. I've been in those conversations with those people. But you always have that one guy that's just kind of like, you know, I'm a purist and I will only watch the original. I'm like, that's fine. You're allowed to only watch the original, but don't shit talk the other stuff or the fans of the other stuff. It's not that big of a deal, man. It's not that deep. Yeah, at least the States give it more shine in the comics. Okay, interesting. I could be mistaken, but I think the Die Ranger suits were going to be used for Power Rangers to make the show easier to edit and the like, but Saban turned down the idea during how iconic... Yeah, that's what I remember hearing from some of the former cast as well, was just that Saban was so worried that the Zoo Ranger suits disappearing would mean that interest in the show would just disappear. And so the Japanese were just like, okay, if you want to keep the suits, that's kind of weird, but whatever. Obviously, it made filming subsequent stuff a little bit more... made the American team have to do a little bit more work, but honestly, I really love just... I am blanking on his Japanese name. Gryffindor? Not Gryffindor, duh. Gryffindor? Goldar's original name. I'm really blanking. But I actually did yeah. I'm tripping over my own tongue trying to say it. Gryffindor. I will trust that. That sounds correct. But yes, I really did like the, I guess you call them the 2.0 suit that they made for some of the later American episodes. He looked mean. I really liked it. Just had a good snarly kind of Japanese demon dog face on him, and I really liked it. But anyway, no, I have always adored Japanese media. I can thank my dearly departed grandmother for that. It was her fault. I will always appreciate her for it, but she was the one buying up Japanese movies on ancient VHS tapes back at old garage sales. And that's how little me got my start as a wee dino lad, just sitting inches from the television while the adults were engaged in boring conversation. I was just sitting way too close to the screen, thinking that Godzilla vs. Gigan was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And it still is, frankly. but no, the trip was awesome. And but Bootleg VHS tapes, those were the days. Well, they actually weren't bootleg in her case. She did find the real ones, but I did end up getting some bootlegs because it's kind of my only choice up until I had easy access to the internet. My first copy of Godzilla vs. Hedorah was a bootleg, and it was almost unwatchable. But no, we actually finally got to the little Chicago outlet mall around O'Hare, and again, I'm not a fan of Gundam. Like, I don't think I've ever watched any of it, but this was just, they had a Gundam store in the mall, and it was just amazing. Like, this thing was 4.5 feet tall, and I admire the dedication, I admire the legacy of something that long-running and that well-loved, even if I've never watched it. And, yeah, it was just a cool-ass store. But the costuming culture at G-Fest has always been one of my favorite parts of it, which is why I was so sad that I wasn't able to bring a suit this year. Because I've taken a lot of suits, but just, you always want to be part of the mix because it's just so much fun. And this was the more recent development on a suit that had been brought last year. It was in progress, WIP, I suppose. And they had made some great progress on it, and like, this thing is just awesome. It's like the head is a little too small. Like, honestly, if you're being a proportional freak about it, if you're being a proportion nut about it, it's actually, the head is too small, but I can't be asked to care because just look at this thing. Look at this dude. Look at this boy. Like, they put some incredible work. I've never been to G-Fest, but I did go to Chicago for another convention. TFCon, to be exact. Okay, so you went to Transformers. I think that was Mewling T, the cosplayer guest this year. Maybe so. I know of her. I've never spoken to her. I know she brought the Princess Shimo last year, which was pretty cute. But no, this was a beautiful piece of work. It's got lighting, it's got vapor breath, and to my absolute shock, somehow they are able to wear this thing, and she's able to walk around in it. Like, I thought it was impossible. I thought it would be too top heavy, and it would not actually be able to just walk around, but they pulled it off. Like, I don't know how they weighted the thing, but they did it, and it was great. It's just really cool to see that going around. We had other suits, of course. Like, somebody brought this really neat. You okay? What? Sorry, hold on. This suit was cool. It was just, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of work for anybody at any level of suit. That's RJ in the 64 suit. Boats can fly on Instagram. Thank you. Thank you for the ID, because honestly, yeah, I don't know everybody in the costuming culture. I don't know. I know a lot of people in the dojo, but I don't know everybody by name. We had a Gigan with the Gatling arms, which I thought was pretty neat, because I'm pretty sure the idea was that they were mimicking the recent Gojiban figure. And it's just a lot of cardboard and talent and paint, and it's just awesome to see. You love to see it. Down in the Artist Alley this year, we had some really neat setups. This person had a bunch of 3D printouts. Like, this was big. Excuse me. This thing was like the size of a big melon or something, or at least a decent sized melon. It was just really cool. Detail was amazing. Like, it's a artistically styled take on Space Godzilla, but they also had this similar artistically styled Goji, which, funny enough, ended up being an awful lot, a very close, in the same ballpark as the -0 design that they unveiled a couple days ago. So I thought that was really neat, but just really well done, really beautifully printed. Did not have the money for it. It would appear to be Jared Modena Designs, according to the little sign here. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I really love to see. Ever since they started doing a kids costume contest, I've been wanting them to make a short film where a bunch of kids pretend to be the monsters, and we cut to the footage of them in costume to show their imagination. Yeah, sure. Like, I didn't get to go to the parade this year. I know that more recently they've been changing things up a bit to accommodate for the fact that there are so many kid fans now, which is great, but it's also just like more of an example of just how the fest is continuing to grow, and I think probably really needing to reevaluate and think about some things, because like, I think they've split the costume parade into kids and adult sections. I think one year it was 2 days to do it because they had so many in the kids category that they broke them up. That's what my memory is telling me anyway from a few years ago. And then one of my favorite parts of the convention, getting to meet Miss Megumi Kobayashi. She was awesome. She was so sweet. This was her first North American convention. She was, as you can probably guess if you're not familiar with her, she was one of the twin fairies in the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. And she was just super nice. She was very generous with her time and just very sweet. She was all smiles, very enthusiastic. And I was able to... I did not realize that she was a jazz singer. She's made quite a name for herself, apparently, singing under the name Meg. And I found her... Well, I bought a CD off of her table, but then I also found the rest of her library online. And, yeah, it's good stuff. It's very good stuff. And in keeping with my tradition, I made sure, of course, to find one Stegosaur figure from the dealer's room to take home. It's an annual thing we do. Every year we go, I make sure to rummage through the little bins full of dinosaur toys and make sure to grab one of my brethren. So, found a good one. He was cute, so I decided to bring him home. But also in the Artist Alley, they had a former employee, apparently, of the Trendmasters Toy Company. He brought a bunch of prototype stuff. Just all of these one-shot, like, color testing, production test figures for people to potentially buy and take home, and that's why, because they're basically one-of-a-kind pieces, you've got $1,200, $1,150, yeah. And that's nothing, because, like, yeah, $1,500. Because, yeah, I mean, I get it. These are basically one-of-a-kind items. And they're super rare. They're for the absolute wealthy diehards only. And these aren't test shot figures. These are just rare figures. But I love the Trendmasters Showa monsters. They're just so fun. I get it, but still, yeah, no. That wasn't even the worst of it. Hold on, that was the Gamera monsters. Where is... Oh, these were test shots of the human characters from the 1998 Godzilla cartoon, which all of the ones from the cartoon were canceled. They never got released. And another Stego boy. I didn't even see those at his table. I ended up getting a vintage Hedorah tag for pretty cheap there for a friend. Yeah. He had a lot of good stuff overall. But I'd never seen any of these in person. These animated series figures. Okay, that's just another view on Randy and Nick. Oh, I guess that was all I took for, or copied over for those. Excuse me. Hey, just sneeze. It was just really cool to see these, but some of the figures cost more than the entire budget that we brought for Fest. Megumi Kobayashi's panel was great. She was just really, really sweet, very fun. She said, whoops, that wasn't what I was going for. She said she appreciated everybody's enthusiasm and just was surprised at how I really wish I could have gone just to have a chance to snag that YMSF Cyberzilla. Funny you should mention that, Darth. Yeah, actually, you probably saw my Deviant post, so never mind. But yes, the Zero Toys figures for the animated series. I'm so glad they're doing those. I really, really am. There it is. Yes. Yep. I waited almost 30 years to get my hands on this guy. And no, it's not the original Trendmasters, but I mean, that would have been awesome if they just made those and all the figures that they were planning for that line. But 30 years I waited to get my hands on this dude. And actually, hold up a minute. I was going to show a comparison because, you know, me being me and me being me and just being absolutely incapable of accepting the fact that certain things are out of my reach because they didn't exist. Some of you here know that, yeah, I'm a very avid figure customizer and figure creator. So years ago I did make my own little version of him, which was a lot of fun. It was difficult, but it was a lot of fun. But, you know, we just assumed this was the best we were going to get. Just customs or 3D printed figures or just making stuff out of clay, because before I was ever doing it regularly, there were other fans on DeviantArt and elsewhere that were just like, hey, if they're not going to give them to us, we're going to make them ourselves. Fans have got to do for themselves. And so I saw some other really great creators on DeviantArt who were making little figurines like I was with these of the creatures from the show. And it was awesome, and it got me excited to do it, and I did make a bunch of these. And then, just to my absolute shock, eventually they did just go ahead and make them. Or at least some of them. Like, I know they're never going to make the entire monster cast of the entire cartoon, which is too bad, because I would buy every single one of them. But the fact that they are now realizing that there's a fan base for them and actually catering to us and giving us these little figures. I mean, they are unfortunately small production runs, and it's not entirely fair that that's the case for just all the fans out there who will not be able to get their hands on them because they're not obsessive freaks like I am. YMS Crackler. Oh, Crackler would be great. Really hope El Gusano Gigante is in the cards. That would be great. Because, yeah, I've made all these characters. I made them, I put them on my shelf, and I said, well, that'll have to do. But it just hits different when these companies are nice enough to actually... Nice enough, I say. We're giving them our money, but you know what I mean. Like, when they are interested enough to say, yeah, we'll take a chance, we'll make this stuff, and see if the fans want it. And we did. we showed up last year when they made Junior and Comodothrax, and now they've expanded the cast by by 4 more. Because this wave was Cyberzilla, the Chameleon, oh, my brain, C-Rex, and why is my brain so dead? Oh, the Cryptocleidos. Yeah, and I love the Cryptocleidos. That is one of my absolute favorites. So, yeah, this was great. This made me happy. Briefly dipping back into the Sentai genre here. This guy brought a great Green Ranger suit, and he looked good in it. And I was just very happy to get a snapshot with the best Ranger. Made me happy. You know, he's a little shorter than I expected him to be in IRL, but you know, it's not his fault. One other thing I do love at the dealer's room, though, is trying to support the artists and the fans that make and bring their own stuff. And there's always a table. I think his name is Stop Traffic Graphics. I want to say that's his store name. But he always brings these little resin or 3D printed figures that are always very glittery and in very cool colors. So this year I noticed that he had a lot of Zillas left that people weren't buying, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy the old Tuna Boy. That'll be the one for this year because he's getting ignored. So that was my purchase from this particular seller this year. Because fans often do the best work, and that's just true. And that's I think that applies as well to. I think that applies to the Zero Toys YMSF people. They're fans, essentially, who decided to make the figures that Bandai and other companies wouldn't, and now they're extremely popular in their own right. I got the art bug back, though, I'm happy to say, while we were at Fest, because honestly, I just had a really long time where I wasn't doing much. I got done with my webcomic about the Stegosaur girl and was just like, you know what, I actually just kind of want a break. I wasn't doing a lot of art pieces, or at least not coloring them, and so I was just kind of doodling while we were at Fest, made some pieces I really liked, and we ended up I ended up getting the bug back and making some stuff I enjoyed, and happy to say people were really nice about this piece. And whoops, thank you, Aniki. Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to be cute because this is what I want to see in Supernova. I don't care what else they do in the movie. I just want Baby to show up. Kong got his chance with Adopted Family, and I'll give the big grumpy lizard boy his shot at having an heir. I mean, you know, it's only fair. Little squeaky lizard son. So there was that. This was my little British pal Dan. He brought some presents for us, and he gave me this little Shin. Like it's like a little 3.5, 4-inch tall Shin Godzilla, which I already have plenty of Shin, but I was just like, wait a minute, I know what I'm gonna do. So I brought it home. I gave it a new paint job, and I may replace the beams because I think I found something a little better. Some nice little sticks that I think I can jam in there to make it look a little bit nicer. But for what it is, I was actually I rather liked this little piece. Just the thought occurred to me that I don't have a figure of him shooting the back beams, the little light show, so just yeah, thank you, Dan, for providing the custom material. I like how he turned out. Always, like I said, might improve one of these days. We shall see. See, I know the MV isn't this smart, but I love a Supernova expands on Godzilla being the only one of his kind. Space Godzilla is finally someone like him, a brother, but he's evil. Godzilla has to stop him, but it would also doom him to return to a life of loneliness. Looks great. Thank you. Um, yeah, it's interesting what supernova may or may not entail. I mean, well, first of all, the big elephant in the room, of course, is rest in peace to Dr. Alan Grant, because that's just going to make the movie that much more bittersweet. It always sucks when somebody you like is in a posthumous movie and you're just sitting there being like, oh man. Though the other part of me is like, hey, great actor went out on a Godzilla movie. That kind of makes me feel a little proud, I suppose. He lived a good life. He was awesome. But hey, I get Dr. Alan Grant in a Godzilla movie. That alone just makes me happy. But the thing is, I keep hearing this persistent rumor that the rights fell through and they're not actually going to have it be Space Godzilla, and they're just going to kind of do like what they did with Shimo and some of the other characters, where they're sort of like Toho creatures, but they're distinct and different enough and not named the same name so that they won't get into any legal difficulties or whatever. Like, that's just a rumor I saw. I have no idea if it's based in fact, but it's being suggested that Space Godzilla's not in it anymore. I guess we'll find out. Where's the toy leaks? I need to see the toy leaks. That'll tell us everything. That's for later. Yeah. It was a very, very nice convention. It was awesome to be with friends. Made me very happy to watch our British pal knocking back some whiskey shots. He's not exactly well practiced, so to be honest, it was pretty charming. But anywho, yeah. So that's the vacation slides, if you want to call it that. But we had a great time, and I'm looking forward to more wonderful years. But I titled this stream reacting to Godzilla VHS artwork, so let's actually get around to that, because I have yapped for way too long here. So let me see about take a drink here real quick, excuse me. Well, dang it. I am confoozled. I worked for the better part of an hour before the stream trying to make that work. And for some reason it is not cooperating with me. Because I need to interact it with... Only the best content, folks. Well, if I have to postpone the YouTube stuff to next time, I will. I'll just... Oh, we have this time. Did you see someone has modded Zillenbagen into Godzilla Unleashed? We can edit model. Yes! Oh, that's beautiful. I'm assuming it would have to be some sort of a emulated version of Unleashed, because as far as I know, it's not on digital platforms, correct? Like, I might be completely ignorant on this point, but I thought most of the Godzilla games weren't on Steam or anywhere where you could obtain them digitally. But yeah, that would be fabulous. I wonder. It's on Dolphin Emulator, but you can use the homebrew channel on the Wii. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh boy. The Wii, aka that dead brick that now resides in my house. Because unfortunately, gonna have to head off for the night. Have a good stream. Hey, it's good to see you, man. And it was good to see you, all overall. So, You have an awesome night. I will check yous laters. Oh. But, nah, it's just, I do love modding, game modding stuff. It's just, I'm back. How much did I miss? Mostly just me doing my G-Fest picture slideshow and being incredibly inept at trying to get my YouTube tab to work here, because I can't interact with the video I had. I was having a whole bunch of trouble before, before I started stream, because I was trying to get the it to sync up with YouTube, but that was interfering with the Twitch streaming. I'm not quite the expert at this yet, which, big shock, I'm a dinosaur. I hate to reinforce the stegosaur stereotypes, but unfortunately, I'm not always the brightest bulb in the box. Like, I'm good enough in a pinch when it comes to most things digital, but on the flip, everyone has their own pace. Thank you. It's just a little disheartening, that's all. I'm just trying to figure out interact. Oh, wait a minute. Ah. I think we got it. There we go. My apologies. Okay, we got a deal. We got a deal. All right, just let me know. Again, I'm sucking hard at this. Let me know if you can actually hear the video. If not, then I need to further tweak. I didn't get very far in this because I knew I would want to watch it on stream with everybody. So let us enjoy Mr. McMuscle.
First of all, this.
There we go.
You know what's a lot sillier than this is that Mothra doesn't appear in Godzilla vs. Megalon. Who's in Godzilla vs. Megalon? Megalon and Gigan and Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar. Can we hear? Can we hear Mr. McMuscles? Is he audible?
Welcome back to the Flophouse, where nature always points out the follies of man. And here we're going to be pointing out the follies of Godzilla.
Mikey! Hey, Penzilla fan. Oh, we are you timed it perfectly, Mikey. We just started watching Matt McMuscles talking about old Godzilla VHS artwork. Yes, good old Matty McMuscles. I started watching him through his What Happened videos, and was very happy to find out he is a fellow kaiju fan, so... Mikey! So, we shall see what... I know a couple of these already, but we'll see what amazing artwork awaits us here.
VHS cover art. That's a mouthful, I know. But hey, Godzilla can take a mouthful, right? Oh, God. Doesn't sound the best. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at some of the weirder Godzilla pieces of art that were commissioned, a reason why they're so strange and different. There's so many of the same.
My big exposure to the Godzilla VHS box art was Paper Fins. Oh, yeah. I saw that channel name pop up when I was trying to find this video again, so I will have to further pursue and look into that as well.
Movie is that so many companies got the rights to release Godzilla VHSs in different regions, countries, etc. over the decades. So,
man, when this hit, like, I still have this game on physical disc, obviously, because it was the only way you could get it, but this got a lot of people excited. Not to mention now that game has preposterously exploded in popularity. So if I ever need money desperately, I guess, rather than selling my spleen, I can always just default to Godzilla PS4.
Showa era, a little bit of Heisei, but not too much. It's definitely Showa era. So if you like your goofy 60s and 70s Godzilla, this is going to be the video for you. And
I had an opportunity to get the PS4 game years ago, and I never did. I'm still mad at myself to this day. Yeah, I actually have a subordinate that's angry with me because I won't sell him the game. And like brother, like I it's not the greatest game in the Godzilla library, but I still enjoy it, and I'm still very attached to it. So unfortunately, he will have to go without.
If you like goofy ass art, this will also be for you.
We do.
I'm planning more Godzilla content in the future. This is a little taste in the Flophouse. I've got some big things cooking, so be on the lookout for that.
Godzilla.
Until then, let's start off with our very first picture, and a pretty safe one, I think.
Hey, it's Gigan.
Here you go. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero.
Honestly,
it's
not a bad
classic, for all intents and purposes. Now, there are some inconsistencies, I would think.
Well, Mr. Shively, obviously it wasn't you, because you have investments in different genres of video games that cost silly amounts of money. But it did amuse me that other said coworker was willing to pay the surprisingly steep disc price, like opened as well. Just it surprised me, but hey, I know I will have a hookup for some fast cash, I guess, if it ever comes to it.
For VHS or just general American marketing, there's just Godzilla's just green. He's just a very bright, vibrant, toxic green. That's just a thing that stuck around, even though he's always kind of a grayish, especially in this time period. Maybe a little bit of green, but only really came in like, I don't know, the Heisei era or even...
Yeah, the great myth of the green Goji, when he was essentially only ever charcoal gray and black up until essentially the Millennium era. Not counting Hanna-Barbera, because obviously, very, very green. Very much this kind of green, actually. This kind of looks like Hanna-Barbera Godzilla merged with the Showa era.
More so Millennium.
He's only been green twice, to my knowledge, 62 and 99 2000. See, 62 is kind of weird because he's not in that one, but a lot of artwork and even a lot of merchandise depicts him as green, but he's still kind of like a pale gray. I guess you could say a grayish green if you really, depending on, I guess, the imagery, but 99 2000 definitely. I don't recall there being any other Japanese ones, but mossy? Alright, no, that's fair. And the Bandai figure I have of him definitely leans more into a mossy-ish, greenish gray than I think he actually is in the movie, but I do like the color a lot, so I didn't mind at all. 6-inch and 8-inch ones. Yeah, they kind of leaned into it, I guess.
Millennium era, this is not realistic, and especially not the dorsal fins. Anyway, I don't even know what this head of Ghidorah is even looking at.
He's a good snobby kaiju fan. I like it.
These dudes, they're locked in, though. They're
now,
locked in. Rodan's.
You can tell where all of these were drawn from because these are very much based on stills of the suits. Like if you've seen enough of the old photographs and press material for the old movies, you recognize these poses here.
Going somewhere else doesn't really matter. I love this font too.
Oh, it's a
I'm
good
just
font.
looking at this. This is just
lovely font.
Hey, do we have any Asian fonts? This one's good enough.
True.
Put that down there.
Middlehead was
of course,
easily distracted.
Inconsistencies here. Ghidorah does not shoot just plumes of fire. They shoot like gravity bolts, gravity beams. They look like just electric arcs, And here we have everyone else.
Now, this is the part that confused me. Oh, also, my giveaway toy from G-Fest has been shipped. Nice. I look forward to seeing so Penzilla here won a some sort of a raffle at G Fest. Why did I hear Kai Kingdom just now? But Penzilla won like a one-of-a-kind action or Godzilla figure at G Fest, which what did they quote you at? Like if you tried to resell it, you could get thousands of dollars for that sucker, because it's a one-of-a-kind piece, and it's meant to be that way. So I look forward to seeing the results of your win there, Mikey. But this is the one that confused me a little bit, because obviously for Monster Zero, all of these are very recognizable. I don't know about that though. Yeah, that 10K seems a little steep, but I guess you'll find out someday. So obviously most of these characters are from Monster Zero. I mean, you've got Nick Adams and Takarada and Miss Namikawa and the other gazillions. It's these two here in the red that confused me a little bit, because I think that's supposed to be Kenji Sahara and his love interest from Rodan. That looks like his miner's uniform from Rodan, which would kind of make sense as far as where they would have gotten the art assets from around the same period of time. But I was like, okay, yeah, just throw them into the Monster Zero set. It actually reminds me a lot of my childhood copy of Gigan, where on the front, for some inexplicable reason, they threw, what was her name? Nami, the King Caesar priestess girl. They threw her in there on the front cover of Gigan a couple of times just to make it look like she was some panicking, upset Japanese citizen on the side of the box. And I was like, that's an interesting choice. I didn't know for years that was the case, but yeah.
Everyone's attention is divided into every possible direction. We're looking over here. We're looking over
good
kind
point.
of at the
Good
viewer.
point.
We're looking over here. Everyone's kind of looking up. Everyone's just breathing on the surface of this planet. It's very crazy. And fortunately for you all, this is very rare, but that all the art you can see, very special. But is there anything more special than the special home video version? Look at that. Look at that.
Look, it was special to us, okay? This was, unless you caught these movies on TV, this was the way that you saw these back in the day, from library rentals and buying them at department stores and whatever. So these were special to us, damn it.
That's got to be quality. Speaking of quality, I don't even think this is that bad. Some inconsistencies for sure.
No,
but
that's a good
we'll
cover.
See, things will get a lot worse and a lot more. Yeah.
Goody, I want to
weird.
see it. I want to see it.
I'm going to give this, let's say, 3.5 Ghidorah heads out of 5.
I'd give it a solid 4, but I'm biased. Oh, here we go.
Next up, we got
All right.
Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
I mean,
this is actually pretty cool, I have to say. Godzilla looking.
Yeah, so honestly, I would probably say that the Godzilla from Ibira is my least favorite suit of the franchise, because he is so incredibly Cookie Monster turned lizard hideous. But this just makes it worse. Like this is this is like the 1967 suit as your sleep paralysis demon. Like, this is very, very unsettling. This looks more like how Godzilla would look in Son. Yes, exactly. It looks like that really weird, unique, heavy face that they had in Son of Godzilla. Just way scarier.
A little, I like.
And Matt likes it too.
Maybe decided to look extra yassified today.
I mean,
you gotta look good. You gotta look good.
That's
when
one
you go
way to
out,
look at it.
In various island adventures of Godzilla movies, which is where they didn't want to make big, expensive, like Japanese looking sets, like in
True.
major cities like
The
Kyoto
island
or
sets.
Tokyo or whatever. They plunked them down on an island setting, which wasn't nearly as expensive to make.
Yep.
First things first, though. Fonts here, nice red, nice bold. Godzilla in a slightly spookier font, but Sea Monster just gets the most bog standard font you could think of. But, you know, it sticks out against the blackish background.
And, you know, no disrespect to the original artist. And by the way, for anyone out there who... Cause I've seen the complaints before. For anyone who's annoyed at me for pausing, it's just a fair use thing. You know, you have to be respectful to the original, and you have to pause. You have to make some fair use commentary. But I will add that in spite of how unsettling I find the image of the big G here and how weird Ibira kind of looks, I do appreciate this art. Like, this is the essence of when you... Good on you for doing that. Oh, thank you. But this is the essence of when I would go into a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video or whatever, and you would just see all these old VHS covers done in this you know, these oil painted or acrylic painted styles. And even if you didn't rent the movie, the art, the paintings were just so cool. They would make you immediately wonder what the movie was like. And sometimes the artwork was better than the movie, especially for a lot of 80s films. Like, sometimes the artwork was badass and it would sell you on a movie in your head that did not materialize. Bear looks more like a crab than a shrimp to me. Yeah. Just the naming convention aside, he always definitely had more of that kind of lobstery crab vibe than a shrimp. I don't know why they called him Ibera, but whatever. That's their prerogative, I guess. But yeah, no, these old painted covers, even if the design choices were a little questionable, I still do love this style a lot. Oh, here, got it. Yeah.
And this isn't a bad illustration. It's like, he's looking a little fuzzier at the top. I know this Godzilla's not like, of this era is not like the most consistent. Sometimes has cartoony features.
Yeah,
I know
big old eyes on some of those Showa suits.
Down here we have
Ibira. That's very crabby.
Looks like them. That looks like more of a lobster than Ibira even really is. I think it's supposed to be a shrimp.
Fake fan!
But hey, it's a nice painting.
I'm kidding, but...
Back when people painted it.
Yes.
You know, I can't fault it for that. And Godzilla's rushing out of the water. There's some splashes there. Like, this is actually pretty solid. Is it the most accurate version of Godzilla? Does he look kind of less intimidating than...
But yeah, just... I used to love covers like this when I was a kid. Just they definitely inspired my artistic tendencies to some degree, because I was like, man, somebody made this. That's awesome.
Normal, and the way it's drawn, it's like you can't even get the dorsal fins there on there. That's kind of funny too.
To be fair, sometimes those dorsal plates do be a little invisible depending on the angle, especially in the Showa era.
But all in all, I think that's a little bit better than the last one, right? Just in terms of, hey, we didn't have a bunch of stuff on here, so it wasn't that much stuff to fuck up. So that's cool. I think I'm going to give this one 4 lobster claws out of 5.
You like this one better than the Ghidorah one? All right. Oh, here we go.
All right.
Yes.
Right along.
Yes. Okay. I had this one. These Video Treasures ones. We had a lot of Video Treasures in my grandma's collection, and some of the ones that I inherited. I love this cover. Like, this was... I don't know. This is what I was talking about. This got me hyped for the movie before I ever saw it, and probably contributed to my mild disappointment when I saw it as a kid, because I expected a little bit better than what it was just based on this cover and some of the books I read as a kid. I do like Raids Again. Excuse me. I do like it. It is not a bad movie, but the bane of a lot of films is overactive imaginations when you are anticipating something in your brain, and then I think the artist for this also made the cover for Megalon as well. Entirely possible. I wonder if he will make a comparison.
Godzilla Raids Again, the second movie. This seems pretty cool. So I think it's for the same makers
font,
as
yeah.
the same distributors, I should say, as the last one.
Same
'Cause
weird
you have the
combo
same
of font.
here. And again, that's very prominent. That pops. They
Yeah,
really
look
wanted
at
to
that.
show this
Look at that.
explosion. Here's the thing. This is an awesome illustration of both of them. Godzilla
Yeah.
doesn't look that cool in this movie. Anguirus too, and Anguirus barely ever looks cool.
Hey, wait a minute. Anguirus is awesome. Don't you be talking shit about my boy. But anyway, and, I mean, the Anguirus here looks pretty accurate. The Godzilla, however, looks a little bit more on the 1968 through 72 side. I'm guessing that's where they got their references on him, because we don't hate on Anguirus. And no shit, Anguirus is my boy. He's like, it's like going into somebody's house and smack talking their dog. It's like, no, he's a good boy. He's a good buddy. He's a good buddy boy. But Anguirus looks pretty accurate here, because the horns were always a little bit more wonky on this suit. Overall, yeah, and the back plates as well. But yeah, this was definitely somebody painting off of two different sources of photo reference material. But I love the colors, and I love the overall vibe on this one. Mwah, mwah.
Cool.
Hey, there's our boy.
The thing about this Godzilla face is that it's actually quite scary, I think. It kind of reminds me of, like, -1. Or even, like, Shin Godzilla Final Form a little bit. There's something about the face. The
Sort
sharp
of.
teeth of these. They're all the consummate V's. It's not bad, and I like how everything has exploded. Like, they're in, like... Godzilla just slammed him down with a meteor strike, and it just destroyed everything. Good stuff, video.
So, in other words, it's the beginning of the last stretch of fighting from Final Wars. Just everything's just been obliterated. Got it.
Treasures. Again, keeping it simple. I wish this company had done all of the covers. Well, then we wouldn't be making a video. We're most likely not.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that. Just... okay.
No, this
If I
was
to
a peak
actually say
VHS
something
cover
I'd change
for
on this,
these
is, like,
old
make
tapes.
Anguirus like a lighter.
He probably won't cover it because this one's specializing on weirder VHS covers, but for my money, one of the best, probably my choice for best painted VHS Godzilla cover ever was Biollante. I mean, that cover is amazing. It's iconic. It's scary. It's awesome. It's like Godzilla versus Seymour the Plant on roids. It was just, it was a good cover.
Color. This movie was black and white, so I assume they didn't know at the time, maybe. But I think when this was probably made, Godzilla had moved into the wild world of color.
No, for
You could
sure.
have seen what Anguirus
Like, this would have been an
colors were, but
80s
I'm
cassette.
pretty sure he's a lighter shade than that.
The one that had the poster for the cover. Yeah. The Miramax VHS tape, I think it was. But yeah, they just used the... I mean, yeah, that's true. It was the poster, not an original created art piece. And that was a good choice, because you can't beat that painted cover. That thing was just badass. So, yeah, that in that regard, you're right. We can't say, it's the best painted cover for a Godzilla film, as if it was made specifically for that tape release, because it wasn't. You're right. But just putting it on the tape was brilliant, and it was the right choice to make, because all the Heisei era VHS tapes that I had pretty much all just used photo material from the movies themselves, and that's fine, but honestly, I've always just kind of preferred artwork for the most part. Noriyoshi Ora was a badass artist, so I'm not gonna... Oh, yeah. I hate the fact that the Monster Arts figures based on his work are so damn overpriced now, because I would really love to get those.
So that's the only thing, just to make them both more distinct. But other than that, it's pretty cool, actually. I'm going to give this... Of course, we're rating this on a Godzilla VHS cover art scale. So it's not like the highest art in the world, especially for Godzilla, which in the Heisei era got so many awesome posters.
True.
They're legit amazing. But for this, I'm going to give it 4.3 Anguiruses out of 5.
Who's that dude? I think his name is Highboy. He's a video reviewer, and he always gives weird, strange ratings to movies. Like, I award this movie 600 cars to 500 Empire State Buildings. Something like that. Anyway.
Hey, Godzilla.
Oh, I remember
King of
this one.
Monsters. Just simple, straightforward. He hates jets. He hates floppy jets made out of rubber. This might be the
Speaking of long-ass franchises I'll never watch.
most classic image of Godzilla for American audiences. Like, this is what, at least in the 80s, up until the 90s, you might have thought Godzilla looked like in your head. Right?
Yeah.
Again, we're using that bright marketing green that he never really was, especially in the very first one. Anyway, probably the same group.
Hey, it's Perry Mason right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say the adult version of Kenny from Godzilla's Revenge because of the yellow cap, but obviously, no.
Monster Classic. I guess it's a Monster Class. Some of these people
Not
look
Kenny.
hyped.
Ichiro,
Them not
holy
so much,
crap.
but she looks like, oh, this is fun. This is interesting. I should be. My wavy
That
Gumby
arm, though.
arms are
Yeah.
moving me along. Look at
Mont.
Raymond Burr.
Now see, this one isn't a special edition tape. This is a monster classic. I've heard reading the One Piece manga is better than watching the anime, able to get on your own pace. Oh, yeah. And I would assume that the manga is tightly constructed enough that they don't have to have filler because of anime episodes catching up. Hey, Sonic! I'm happy you joined us. It took me absolutely forever to get this rolling because I'm an idiot. But we are enjoying the old Godzilla VHS artwork. Especially, these poor people here who are just really, really confused as to whether or not they want to run into the turrets or if she's more horrified at this guy's blue jacket. But yes, so far these have been rather cool, I should say.
There. Raymond Burr? Yeah, Raymond Burr.
Yeah, Perry Mason.
Steve Martin. No, not that Steve Martin. The character Steve Martin. Anyway,
Would come sooner, but it was
he's
much
there
cooked
looking
dinner.
really concerned.
That's
but
legit.
he's looking
That's
at
legit.
some trash that someone threw on the ground. He's like, well, someone should really.
He's
pick that up.
contemplative.
I do like how this is forming a full scene. At first,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. At first, I thought it was just
Like, I'm not huge on the colors that they picked overall for all of this because it's a little too bright and a little too colorful for a very dark, foreboding atmosphere kind of thing. But it's just what the artist went with. He may not have even seen the movie. I'm not going to fault him. But it's not a bad cover.
just like I'll slap a button.
Though if it was awesome, it would have had, instead of these randos at the bottom, it would have had Dr. Yamane and Sarazawa and Takarada and Emiko. They would have actually had the real cast and not these random stock Japanese Toho actors that they threw in. But yeah, I know.
Bunch of random shit down there. But no, it's all a full scene here, which is nice. They're shooting Godzilla in his most vulnerable part, the thighs and ass. That's good. We have a three-pronged attack.
He's taken it in the balls a few
And
times.
it's nicely illustrated for the most part. Like these two, they're actually very well rendered. Let's go back up to Godzilla here. It's like, could you be any more scaly, sir? Very, very scaly.
Scaly, you say, huh? I've been accused of this. Is it just me, though, or does it kind of look more like they combined that one famous photo of the 54 Godzilla with more of the head of the 84? Godzilla be hitting Diamond Jim hard. But I'm just kind of seeing a little 84 in that face. I'm thinking the dude might have meshed some things together a little bit.
I like the electricity crackling off the dorsal plates.
Yeah, that is kinda
That's
neat.
cool. I think that's probably a holdover from like the artist saw the movie or was given a description. It's like, oh, Godzilla destroys some power lines, and there's some electricity that's involved in there. So just get that there, even though that's not like, a part of his power set. But still, this is
There
pretty
we
strong.
go.
Like,
Sorry about
it's
that.
so weird to see the very first
should've realized
movie
I didn't have it full
colorful
screen.
looking. I would have actually preferred this in black and white, if anything. That'd be really, really authentic.
I was going to comment about that as well.
Or
yeah.
just maybe a little bit of color. Although the original Japanese
quite fit
poster
the
was in
aesthetic of
color.
the,
Godzilla was this
54
weird
there.
brownish gray, I think.
It's
I
close,
can't really
but it's
remember
not.
off the top of my head. But I think it's another strong one. I'm going to go up a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And maybe the font could actually be a bit more appropriate.
Oh, I dig the font.
Like, I don't know, more like Art Deco
I mean,
or something.
maybe that's
like
just
that.
me, but I actually dig
I'm
the font.
splitting hairs. I'm going to give this one 4.5 melting jets out of 5.
Anguilla.
All right, our first
Here we
Bollocks
go. Here we
come
go.
to play with Godzilla versus...
Yeah, this is when I knew that I wanted to do this on stream, because I saw one look at that dopey face on the big guy, and then that horrifying face on Mothra, and I was like, oh yeah, once upon a time they did intend to make the original Mothra movie a horror film, or at least more horrific.
Megalon.
And yeah, then the Megalon thing.
And I ultimately, it's a very simple image, but there's many things, many things to discuss. First of all,
Indeed.
this font. This is like
It's a
that
good
fucking
font.
font you'd see on that Chinese fireworks puzzle game that was like on every computer in the 2000s.
Damn it, I dig it.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like a bunch of fireworks had to go off and they exploded and blah blah blah, and pretty much anything in the late 90s or early 2000s or whatever, you just see this font.
I mean, fair, but
Pretty
I still
hilarious,
like
so we're
it,
definitely
if
moving
only
to
for
a different
nostalgia's
company
sake.
here. So I'm guessing this is a trail left by Mothra, who's just zooming in. She's leaving some pollen
Getting a
behind.
face full of
Now,
blast.
Godzilla and her, I'm not really sure. There's an exchange of fluids happening.
Jeez. Apparently, the U.S. release of Godzilla vs. Megalon didn't put the copyright logo at the beginning, so people thought Godzilla was in the public domain and bootleggers went crazy until Toho made the correct... Yeah. I am also a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater and the sad state of the whole confusion that they had over their use of Megalon and the sea monster, and Toho's let's just say discontent with them after the fact, and the time that Mystery Science Theater tried to release Megalon on DVD. Yeah, that was a whole big mess, and it makes me sad that Mystery Science Theater fans can't enjoy the Godzilla films unless they are well skilled in the Pirate's Life for Me lifestyle. But yeah.
It kind of looks like Mothra's receiving this hot loogie that Godzilla seems like he's not even sure he wants to shoot. Well, I don't know about this. Oh. Why is he drawn like that? Anyway,
That would be cool. I mean, I haven't checked for a long time because I've got all the episodes on my computer, but yeah, no, if they're still viewable, like I know they're on like Archive and some other places if you know how to look. I remember not getting to see Megalon until the official DVD release. Oh, you poor boy. That was Megalon was a foundational pillar of my fandom. Like I would not be the kaiju fan that I am without Megalon. But hey, better late than never.
like just his expression is just so bizarre. And Mothra looks like someone closed their eyes and was told what the Mothman looks like, and just drew that.
Minty knows a few
Mothman
things
would be
about
a memory
Mothra.
only. So that's pretty silly. Monster Mania, I guess. Two monsters. That doesn't really make it a mania, does it? And it's nice that it's
At least it's in color.
And it's nice that Godzilla's crotch just goes on for infinity. You know?
Yeah.
You know what's a lot sillier than this is that Mothra doesn't appear in Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Yeah.
There's not a mention of Mothra.
Like there are several cameos in Megalon due to brief appearances in stock footage, but not Mothra. So no, that's a unique choice. I never actually saw this cover when I was younger, so This one is definitely amusing to me.
There's no exchanging of fluids, so I don't know.
Better with Mothra. I would argue no, because just the sheer joy of it was the tag team ridiculousness and just everything to do with Jet Jaguar, and distracting from Jet Jaguar would, to me, would be the wrong choice. Gigan was Mothra's last Showa cameo. Ah, okay. Yeah, that is true, isn't it? Wait. Oh, my brain. The larva didn't show up in Terror of Mechagodzilla, did it? Because I thought... No, I'm guessing it must not have. I'll trust you on that one, because I know there was that brief bit where they had some of the stock footage of the monsters in Terror of Mechagodzilla, but Nope. Okay, no, that's right. It was Manda, Ghidorah, Rodan. Yeah, so... Yeah, you're correct. Gigan was the last one.
How the fuck one makes a mistake like this? Maybe someone looked it up and said, "Oh, what's a Godzilla monster? Oh, it versus what? It's a Mothra, yeah,
Mega Mothra.
Sure." Then they looked up Mothra. They're giving a picture of Mothra. Oh, that's it. And they didn't actually watch the movie, because there's no way anyone that watched the movie gave the artist a brief, or the artist themselves watched it and thought this made any sort of fucking sense.
I mean, it's no weirder, I guess, than those German releases of the Showa films where they were titled things like Godzilla and Frankenstein's son beat the crap out of King Kong, or whatever some of those weird translations were for the foreign market.
Who's in Godzilla vs. Megalon? Megalon!
Yeah.
And Gigan!
Yeah!
And Jet Jaguar!
Jet Jaguar!
Not Mothra. Why couldn't it at least beat Gigan? If it was just one of them, like
maybe Mothra was just easier to paint.
And both Megalon and Gigan can fly, so you could have just replaced this with Megalon or Gigan. Would it make more sense to be Megalon? Maybe have a big ghost head of Jet Jaguar up here smiling, or something. Because, his crime fighting covers up a basic insecurity. We all know that. But for Mothra, I'm not even sure if this is Mothra. Maybe it's Batra.
Speaking of Mystery Science Theater, good reference there, Matt.
But it was not drawn with any sort of commitment or passion to the source material, which sucks. It is hilarious.
I got a real quick story on that. A few years ago, they did play Megalon at the Pickwick Theater in Chicago during one of the last G-Fests, and your people are surrounding you when you're sitting in a theater watching Megalon, and suddenly just some rando in the crowd is quoting, Mystery Science Theater lines loudly. It tickled me a little bit. Like, I don't like people being too disruptive in the theater, but just one good shout out quoting lines from Mystery Science Theater, that killed me.
But yeah, it's absolute grade A bollocks. So I'm gonna give this 2 Mothmans out of 5.
Fair enough. Oh, good. What do we got?
Alrighty.
Oh, this one's rad. I love this one.
Versus the Smog Monster.
This one's awesome.
This is actually pretty kick-ass on first look.
Hell yeah.
Here. Alright, we got a pretty badass version of Godzilla here. Not very Godzilla-like. Like, it's very draconian, even. The dorsal plates go up way too high.
Some of the newer versions are kind of leaning that way.
Damn. It's cool, though. I like it, but it's not very...
Hedorah has a good schnoz on him, too.
Hedorah looks off, but, I mean, the basics are there. It looks like even grosser. Like, it does look like it's made out of, like, swamp goo, I don't know where this big schnoz is from. Hedorah doesn't really have that.
I swear I didn't get this far in the video.
Blob of, like tar.
Look, Mr. McMuscles and I clearly come from a similar generation if we're both thinking big Muppet schnozzes at the same time.
With some red highlights and big weird eyeballs, but I mean, I guess. Anyway, Pollution's hideous spawn dooms the earth to choking horror and pits.
Why won't anybody let me pollute? Can't a guy get a break? I just want to throw my shit all over the place.
Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool fun, I have to say. I like how the Smog Monster almost gets top billing. Well, not literally top because it's being a bottom right now, but it's just like such a bigger font, right? And
No, when I was a kid, it was this part here at the bottom that made me like, ooh, this movie could be badass, because look at this. You've got the standard woman in distress bit. You've got a whole bunch of melty corpses in the background. And yes, admittedly, Hedorah is pretty edgy, badass for its time, depending on the scene. But, again, VHS expectations versus reality, because, man, this cover did some heavy lifting. Like, looks like she's going to star in some Japanese anime. I mean, yeah, there's always been that kind of weird, let's just say, subtext to some of the old posters of the women in distress trope, which some of them do it better than others. But yeah, that one's, it looks less like slime and more like more like things that would be doing other awful things. But anyway, no, this cover was magnificent at stimulating my imagination until I could finally get a chance to watch the film.
Here we got some fucked up shit. Got some fucked up shit over here.
Yeah.
Look at this. Hey, move it, Shadowhead.
We call it Three Stooges syndrome.
They're all trying to move at the same time. She's not having a good time.
The body
I do
count.
like how it looks like Hedorah's kind of peeing on everyone. See this rush of fluid over there? That's pretty cool. She's obviously not having a good time. Sucks. Sucks to be you. This is from Orion Home Video.
Look at the body count. I mean, Hedorah has one of the better body counts, like visible body counts in the franchise, but this cover's on another level.
The badasses that fucking commissioned this,
yeah,
they're on something.
It was the 70s.
I guess it also is not the most accurate to the monster designs, but it's cool though. It's definitely different, and
Hedorah's a menace while crapping his goo in the hood.
It definitely leans into the horror aspect a little bit more. There is some of that in that particular movie. So, I'm gonna give this 4.
Godzilla vs. Hedorah was my first movie. Watched it on Sci-Fi when I was a kid. Dude, like, honestly, I think some of the most dedicated fans I have ever met are just the ones who found that golden kickoff point from the Showa era. Just, some of those hit so hard when you're a youngin' that it just makes you the Hedorah was my first Showa movie, rented the DVD at Blockbusters. Nice. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of mixed on that, because it's like it is a classic of the franchise, but it's also a weird one to start with. Like, if that's one that sets expectations for you moving forward on what some of the other movies from that era are going to be, it's not a good place to start, because it is not representative of most of the Showa era. Grew up during the hype for the 98 film, so Godzilla was everywhere. Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, even though I've had this discussion/debate with people before, 98 was technically my first in-theater Godzilla movie experience. First actual Japanese Godzilla theatrical movie experience was 2000. But yeah, no, 98 reignited my kaiju fandom when it had gone dormant a little bit in the 90s, because I was getting interested in other stuff. I was into Batman, I was into Pixar, I was into lots and lots of things. So Godzilla was always there, and I never not stopped falling in love with him, but I just didn't have very many movies. And the best thing to me that the 98 movie did was not only give us the animated series, but it also brought the Heisei. Sony was like, all right, we're going to release all the Heisei films on VHS. And I was like, thank you, God, I can finally watch these, because I knew they existed. Trendmasters made me aware of that back in the day, but I couldn't get my hands on them. So, yeah, the 98 film did a service to me. It reignited the fandom, and 30 years later, I'm a hopeless and helpless Stego fanboy who goes to expensive conventions.
Flying Godzillas out of 5.
Oh no.
Alright.
Oh, here we go.
Alright, so the cheat's gonna put on a laser disc. On the laser
Strongbird!
disc.
Strongbird!
Digital sound, which is always good. Again, another very
alright.
warty, very green Godzilla here. But he looks pretty cool.
Okay. I'm just gonna say it. Because, look, I defend Minya. I don't hate Minya. My little brother absolutely adores Minya, so I have a soft spot for the little turd. However, if you have ever seen, movie aside, the art self, yeah, absolutely. I will not cast any foulness upon the artist. However, if you have ever seen the VHS covers or the posters for the movie Ghoulies, the little puppety monster coming out of the toilet, that's the vibe I'm getting from that face on Minya right now, Manila there. That is a Ghoulies face. Holy balls.
Cool. They have a Kamacuras that's
Oh!
They're just jumping over Mount Fuji. That's a long jump to
Madre
get to Godzilla.
Dios.
So he's shooting some type of fire breath. Manila is not having a great time. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. He's shooting the smoke.
Oh. I mean, our boy was never the most attractive. He got hit with the ugly stick a few times, but he looks better in the movies than this. Ay, ay, ay.
Smoke rings, but they're very concentrated. Right? The smoke ring is like a funny thing that he does like once. It just burps one up. But here it looks like he's shooting like Shin Godzilla's final beam. Like it looks sort of deadly. And where the fuck...
Yeah, Minya's been on some shit. Like, he looks like he had his whiskey, he did a line, and then he just suddenly looked up into the sky and was like, "Ah!"
Fuck is he aiming? Maybe
It
they're
looks like it
throwing off
looks like it hurts. Like, it looks like it is hurting him to barf his rings there.
his like center, and he should be gray, by the way, like a grayish.
I mean, that's
beige or
not
something.
too far off of his actual
maybe they're
colors.
unsettling him, and he's like,
The belly
"Whoa!"
button is
He's
bothering
like,
me.
He throws his head up.
Like, that Minya belly button is wrong. My first experience with this movie was the dub, and Mililla's dub voice I still haven't recovered. Okay, so you think you haven't recovered. You know that I have, my little brother is mentally challenged, but he adores Minya, and he would always love it when I would talk to him in cartoony voices as characters that he likes. So for years, he would talk to me like I was Minya, and he would expect a reaction. So I'd have to do the voice all the time. Godzilla says if you want to get your dessert, you'd better do your homework. I had to do that for years. And once in a while, he still kind of brings it up just for kicks and giggles. So, yeah, unfortunately, that dub voice is a permanent fixture in my gray matter. Which, believe me, it's the other reason I enjoy watching the film in Japanese, because at least then you get the cute little Japanese girl voice.
He shoots it in the sky. Maybe that's what they're going for. Everyone else is not very concerned.
Okay.
I mean, they're
Okay, I love this. I love this. So, yes, they have Akira Kubo, who was in Son of Godzilla, but they've recreated him through clearly what was a stock photo from Monster Zero. Because that's his nerdy little character who made the lady alarm. And then we've got the other guy from Monster Zero, the scientist dude. And then we got an Exilian in the background? What the frick? Wait, Manila had a voice actress in Japan? Is that why they're a girl in Chibi Godzilla? I have no idea if... I've never actually watched Chibi Godzilla. I do know Minya's pink in there, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's a joke, but I just figured it was that thing they always do where they just have women voicing little boys. But anyway.
concerned, but they're not in a rush. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about before. We just throw humans at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
It is a trope. Special home video version. So this was the group that did the other releases on VHS, but
I mean, yeah,
now
the art
they're
doesn't
doing
suck,
on the
but
Laserdisc.
Ugh.
Laserdisc is written again. Paramount. When the fuck did Paramount
What?
ever get the license to do Godzilla
No
movies?
way.
Winters, eh? We finally have an artist
Mr.
name.
Winters.
Might have been in the early ones.
I knew it. Cameron Winters from the Godzilla cartoon. Chibi Manila is Chibi Godzilla's little sister in the anime. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I am an utterly dedicated Godzilla fanboy, but even I just decided I wasn't particularly all that interested in following the Chibi Godzilla show. I do have all of Gojiban. I do enjoy Gojiban a lot, to be honest, but I just never felt the need on Chibi. Maybe I'll change my mind on that someday, but
Didn't notice it. I'd like to look that up. Maybe we can have the info tab on
Greg Winters was an extremely prolific artist who did illustrations for numerous films and video games. All right. I mean, the dude's not bad, even if it's just kind of reinterpretive copy work. But yeah, it's a good look.
screen. Let us know who Winters was. Again, like the early ones that we looked at, this is pretty solid. When also I look at this Godzilla, I really think of like the Super Nintendo games or the Turbo Duo, or the Super Famicom.
Still can't get over my nephew watching Son of Godzilla. Why does Manila look like an old grandma? I mean, nephew ain't wrong, but what was really funny to me is like there were polls a few years ago asking Japanese fans what some of their favorite movies and some of their favorite characters were in the franchise. And bear in mind, this was like, I want to say maybe 10 years ago or less. But among the winners, Biollante ranked really high as one of the favorite movies in the franchise. And Manila scored really high as a favorite character. So I guess he resonates with the Japanese fans, at least to some degree. They think he's cute. It also bugs me because I just realized that Godzilla's ear on this illustration is right under his eye. It's placed really badly for some reason, and it's bugging me. Ugh.
I should say.
Nostalgia.
The Godzilla sprite in that really reminds me of this. Anyway, it's kind of a silly image. There's a lot going on, maybe a little bit too going on, but still very nicely painted.
It wouldn't be so bad if Minya just didn't look like horror fodder.
Anyway, I think we're going to give this one 4.1.
Okay, that's a little generous in my opinion, but it's fine. What's funny is I did not teach my nephew to say what he did. He just blurted it out. I mean, yeah, kids are hip. Kids are more hip than you realize, man.
Manila's out of 5.
You know what's going on. Oh, another one.
Next up.
Ah!
Whoa, there's nothing sadder than...
We had this. I remember picking this up at a Kmart. And I remember I was all like, whoa, it's in widescreen. Crazy business. Because VHS tapes weren't typically in the habit of being in widescreen at the time. And so of all things, the fact that I had a widescreen version of Godzilla's Revenge just kind of felt like a weird kick in the nuts of when there's other movies I would have preferred. But I do remember these very well. It really looks like he's wired to a pong. Oh, Manila's taking all the L's on these art covers. But the thing is, they used this stock image of Godzilla for so many things at that time, because again, it's just the 84 suit, and they just early computer Photoshop kit bashed a bunch of stock pictures together sometimes. And yeah, Minya's looking a little like, if he was creepy in the last one, he's creepy in this one in a different way. Like you say, it's just, he does look like he's high.
A man sitting all by his lonesome watching Godzilla's Revenge. So this is the
Don't you dare call me out like that, Matt.
Widescreen version. So I assume this might be like a DVD. So
no, it was a tape.
Oh man. Oh, I'm freaking out. Anyway. Problems
Damn
with
it.
this. This is Godzilla, Return of Godzilla / Godzilla 1985.
Yep.
So the earliest in the 80s, the earliest in the Heisei era, is now used on a Showa era movie, which is Godzilla's Revenge. I really like. Hey,
Called
the little
it,
guy
yep.
smokes smoke rings. Oh, okay, so he smokes, huh? He's smoking the Hobbit weed? What is going on?
Oh, he likes that long bottom leaf, he does. Oh, I love this.
That's very weird. And because they put Godzilla's Revenge in this crazy font, it looks like Godzilla's getting revenge on his son that smoked drugs when Godzilla said not to. Which is valid. I told you not to do that! Who are you? Are you like a nuclear allegory? Anyway.
Jeez.
I actually hate this for a bunch of reasons. Like, this is a photo of or a screenshot from the movie.
It's a digitally rendered, I would guess, some sort of a digitally rendered trace version of the 84 suit. But it's just, like, even though this is nostalgic for me, it is a pretty bad cover. Like, the background just being a bunch of, like, tablet scribbles in whatever art program they were using. I do like that old Godzilla title font there, like, for his name, not the Revenge so much, because that just screams 90s overboard. But oh man, yeah, like, objectively speaking, outside of my own nostalgia for it, this really ain't one of the better ones, man.
At least most of it. But then this looks like a drawn piece of art, so I don't like mixing two mediums together. Then we have this bad computer-generated background where Godzilla
Is it worse
just
or
ripped
better
one
than
back
AI?
there,
That's the
and it's
question.
just floating around. It's got the stink lines and everything. The two fonts being very wrong. Digitally remastered.
Yeah, the
This
fonts
is
don't
bad.
complement each other
I
at
actually
all.
hate this more than all of them so far. So I'm going to give this, one smoke ring out of 5. Ugh.
Can't even blame him. Back to Son of Godzilla.
Oh my god.
Oh, I had this one
All right,
too.
There's much to unpack here. Okay.
Ugh.
So the first thing is that it's
So here's the thing about these. This was part, there's effort here, crappy effort, but effort, AI has none. Yeah, I'll give you that. But here's the thing about this one, for this Son of Godzilla box art. This set was lazy, but it was cool at the same time, because this was a set of like 5 or 6 movies that got released together a lot. And he might mention this, but they had pictures along the side, and when you put the tapes together on the shelf, you could create an image. And in this case, it was that one image of 1984 Godzilla kind of towering over a cityscape, and it was really cool. And I liked those VHS collections they used to have where you could put them together and create an image. We used to have a Star Trek set that had the Enterprise along the side in a similar manner. King Kong vs. Godzilla cover in this set looked pathetically cheap. Alright. I'm not... Was that one in this set? I thought they were by different companies. I could be wrong. Let's see if he elaborates.
It says Son of Godzilla. Godzilla, Son of Godzilla.
Oh boy.
He also looks high as fuck. Like he's looking at an angel coming. A biblically accurate angel has come into Manila's world. And he can't fucking process it.
Yeah, this one's not so good.
What is the name of the movie? I'm assuming it's Son of Godzilla, but it could just be Godzilla for all we know. Alright. Okay.
Yeah, and
Son
then
of Godzilla.
every single one of them had the 84 Godzilla hovering in the background, too. I think any film outside of that set was actually a bootleg that tried capitalizing on said set. That's possible, because I did have an official King Kong vs. Godzilla VHS from childhood, but it definitely was not part of this particular set because it didn't. I don't think they were even released by the same companies. Like, I think the one we had was a Video Treasures or a Good Times Entertainment one.
Here is 1984/1985 Godzilla again. So that's wrong, right? Doing this and putting this little picture there and then putting Son of Godzilla makes it seem that's the Son of Godzilla. Right? This could be a foldover of the VHS art that goes on the top, maybe, so you can identify the name of the movie, possibly.
Show the side, show the side.
Still, taken as a whole piece of art, it's bad. Then we have a Showa era Godzilla.
That is the correct Showa Godzilla from that movie.
Godzilla in the background, Force Ghost. Trust the nukes, Godzilla. Like, what? What's happening? Why do they have that back there? Right?
Because
I don't know why Manila's in black and white. I don't know why we're suddenly doing. And he's on fire.
He was gray.
That's bad. And then Son of Godzilla, it didn't need to be said. What would I do to change this? Like, even minimal changes is cut this off at the bottom. Like, it doesn't need to be this long. Put Son of Godzilla up here.
Yeah.
Don't have it say Godzilla and get rid of this Godzilla in the background. I guess. Son of Godzilla from fucking times.
Remember when you were really, really ugly in the mid-'60s. Look, I've said it before, and I will say it forever. Milla's black and white because all the colors drained from his soul. Oh, this is so good. I'm glad we did this, gentlemen. But no, like, frick. What was I going to say? This is melting my brain. Like, there were some pretty ugly suits, but there is, I've said it before and I will say it forever, there is no Godzilla movie I hate. There are some that I definitely do not like as much as others. But I love my boy. I love the entire franchise. I don't hate any of them. But the mid-'60s is rough, man. Like, both in terms of the Godzilla movies and the non-Godzilla movies in the Toho, library that I have. The mid-'60s suits are rough. It's hard. I like when we get to the 68 suit because that is a great design for the character. But the Monster Zero, Ibira, Son of Godzilla suits, they really left me typically when I get to that point in my marathon, I'm just like, oh boy. Just sit back and enjoy the parts you love because these are the rough suits.
Anyway, this is bad. Like, is this better than AI art? Yes, absolutely, 100%. We're not debating that.
Yes.
Because there's so many errors
at least this is
that
funny.
Are only made by a lazy human.
Yes.
And I love that. I love that.
This is a different kind of lazy to AI art. This is just, you have one day to give us a video cover. Make it so. And bro was just like, all right, bet.
They said, yeah, I'll just slap this together in MS Paint or whatever equivalent they had back then. No idea when this was made.
Probably not Paint because it wasn't that sophisticated, but yeah.
Of like 6 or 7 different things that do not belong.
Damn it, Matt.
Crazy. I don't hate it though for some reason. There's something about it. Oh God. What are these? What can I even score this? I guess 2.5 Son of Godzillas out of 5.
I'll take lazy human eye or just amen. Yeah, amen. Why just why? Oh, back to Invasion of the Astro Monster.
We're moving on to Godzilla. You can see the.
Yep, and we had these two because it was part of that same damn Godzilla's Revenge series that had that particular font at the top and then the stuff here. Because these all got released around the time of the '98 film. Every company that had the license to release particular films in the franchise released them over and over again at different VHS sets or in different cover art releases. So, Yep, these were my first versions of a lot of these movies with these boxes. And now, admittedly, this one isn't terrible. It's I'd call it an artistic, loose artistic rendering, which at least is cool. But if you're looking for accuracy, it's not exactly there. But still, a creditable effort.
This is similar font to the one we looked at before. I don't know who this is. That's Gorgo. Or that's Young Gary?
Young Gary? Wow.
Anyway, versus Monster Zero. I have no... That's the Hydra from God of War 1.
Oh, wow.
Because that ain't no King Ghidorah. That's not even close. There's so much green. Anyway, the mouth of this Godzilla is all wrong. I don't know why it's especially blurry.
Because of the way they painted it.
Fortunately, though, we can't be too harsh on it because this did
old
get Godzilla's
digital
stomp of approval. Now, I'd like to think that if Godzilla was to give his seal of approval on something, it would not be to stomp it. And whose foot is that? 2 toes? That ain't Godzilla's foot. Are they selling this on kaiju only feet? Whose foot is that? That you can't attribute that to Godzilla and say it's his stomp of approval. It's clearly fucking not. Anyway, this is
getting harder on this one than I expected.
Last one. I guess it's a little bit better. When I say the last one, I mean Godzilla's Revenge, because it has this font, so I assume it's the same thing. Godzilla's stomp of approval, I also don't like that at all. You can't put words into his fucking mouth like that.
Godzilla looks like Gorosaurus on this cover. Honestly, you're not entirely wrong. It's just, it's very, this strikes me as more of a genuine, hey, we don't have any real artwork for you to work off of, or we need to make it a little less obvious, so go from memory and do your best. This to me is what I would just imagine somebody doing from memory. Is okay, Hydra looking thing with some horns and the teeth and the thing, and Godzilla's got a Allosaurus kind of mouth thingy and the deal. Okay, there we go, good enough.
That's crazy. I think King Ghidorah is I don't know, he got so fucking trashed here. Made him
generic
look so
dinosaur
bad.
foot, yeah.
If this was zoomed out a little bit, maybe it would be cool.
Yeah, it's really close.
But it's not in its current form.
Very zoomed.
Much. So I'm going to give this 1.9 stomp of approval
Wow.
out of 5.
Really hard on that
All
one.
right, we got
here we
Son
go.
of Godzilla.
Back to this artist.
Another one. Who the fuck is this?
Dang.
It doesn't even look like reptilian. I don't know what.
This looks like some of those weird paintings you would see on posters, like foreign European movie posters for some of the old kaiju films, where it's like, we're in the right ballpark. Looks like a Polish cover. Yeah, it looks like... it does. It looks like some of those European, Eastern European kind of movie posters for monster films where they look kind of right, but it's got that almost weird Art Deco kind of... I can't describe it adequately, but you know what I mean.
What it is about, but he looks more dog-like. You put a little ear on
Damn.
him, that'd be a good boy.
Damn, Minya's looking hard.
And this is the coolest Manila ain't ever looked. Looks like a saurian.
Okay, this is perfect. So, someday in the future, I do have a desire to make my own clay figure renditions of some of the Showa monsters that never got reinterpreted into the Trendmasters toy line. Because there were plenty that they didn't do. I mean, they did Megalon and Varan and Anguirus and a bunch, but they didn't do others like Gorosaurus and Titanosaurus and Manila. And I was like, well, you got to make them, if for the Trendmasters line, if you're going to reinterpret monsters, you got to make them look more badass. They got to be more muscular. They got to have that 90s American flair, like all the Trendmasters figures did. So I did do a Manila. Hold on. Let me find it. Oh, this is so funny. Custom. There we go. Trendmasters concepts. Yes. I think I've shown these on stream before, but it is it is part of the agenda I have someday. I do want to make these a thing, but I had ideas for Trendmaster's Gorosaurus and a Hedorah, which is just mainly him looking a little bit more elongated. A Titanosaurus, just make him a little beefier in that Trendmaster style. Minya I struggled on because it's really hard to not make him look kind of dopey, and I don't think I did a really good job here. However, I am inspired by this. This is good. This is a good direction to help guide that future Trendmaster's Manila figure. I'm glad we've discovered this together.
Half human, half dinosaur.
Yeah.
He never shoots a beam that crazy. And what is he even shooting? His own foot?
He shot a
nothing
beam
down there.
He shot a beam a couple times.
Come on now. I mean, it's still a simple image, but if this is the same artist, Winters, where are you?
Not
I
gonna
don't
lie
see
though, I
Winter's
do
name
like
anywhere. Let me
I
know
do
if
like
you
the
see it.
paint.
Could it be over here? There's an M over here. I'm not sure if that's...
You know what these remind me of? These actually do, like, the style of the painting and the shadows and just kind of how it's done. It actually does remind me a little bit of those old, hate to sound like that guy, but Gorosaurus looks like he needs some work. Maybe some Kentrosaurus, like shoulder spikes or something, looks too generic. Yeah, no, you're fine. When I showed those concepts to friends before, they kind of said the same thing. It's like, yeah, we see Gorosaurus in there sort of because of the segmented bits and kind of how you did the back spikes and everything, but overall it just looks way too generic dinosaur. And even though Gorosaurus is kind of a generic dinosaur, sort of, at least compared to the other Toho catalog, he is still distinct. And so, yeah, trying to find a good balance to make him look like himself, but also pump him up with roids like he would need to be to properly fit into the... Because let's be fair, like Baragon and Varan in the Trendmasters line were also wildly different from how they looked. So honestly, yeah, I suppose the biggest criticism of this really is just that it's a little too safe and a little too generic, and that's why these are just concepts. Like, they're going to get refined in the future, and if maybe a dewlap into the maybe so, but yeah, we'll work on it. We'll workshop it a bit. We'll make it into something. I was really happy with Titano though. I do kind of like how he looks because it does, I think, have that Trendmaster's body. I'll refine all of these like an iguana's. Yeah, that's not a bad suggestion. Like, honestly, I think sometime in the future on stream it would be fun to just kind of workshop some of the designs and tweak them up a bit. If you'll notice, I did put the little button here on the chest because if you know, you know. But anyway, sorry. I had to go off on a little tangent about that.
That's part of it. I don't know if Winters did that, but it's not his best work. There's something about it just kind of disturbing. I don't know. There's something off about it.
It is a little creepy.
Like Godzilla is actually dead, and like Son of Godzilla is like
kind of looks like Godzilla Earth. Am I weird?
You know, something like that.
Is there like a little Godzilla Earth in that
not
design?
Super into it. I do like the font again, just kind of sticking out on there, and like, you know, it commands respect. But the rest,
like, it's kind of the mouth a little bit, and the texture on the skin. It just, something about it reminds me of Godzilla Earth.
The rest of it doesn't so much. The rest of it just doesn't excite me all that much. Like, if anything, this Manila fucking scares me.
Good lord.
I don't want those two things to be associated. Manila and fear? No, thank you. So
I mean, he is fear for a lot of fans.
2.7 Manilas out of 5.
Ooh, alright. Terra Mecha Godzilla,
Right,
let's go.
What
the frick, Ramsey?
I know we're moving into.
Okay, we're getting into German territory here. Holy balls. What? I got very little that I can just, my brain is flabbergasted.
This makes no sense. This is obviously from another country. I'm assuming German. And
Die Brut des Teufels.
Des Teufels. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't see much Mechagodzilla. I see New York in a day after tomorrow nightmare with a very, very unsettling Godzilla. Like, he was rocking the elbow spikes long before -1 ever did.
I'm assuming that means the King of the Monsters.
The
or
Devil's
some variant
Brood?
thereof. I don't know who the fuck this is, but he's crazy.
Good
There's
night.
fucking arm spikes? That's awesome. Hey, what are you guys? What are you doing? What are you bothering me? I was just trying to charge some play.
Holy crap. Like, it looks more like what would have happened if somebody had just told Stan Winston, hey, when you design your Godzilla suit, just make it scary as shit. Surprised it doesn't have the Frankenstein in the title. That was, yeah, for sure. Maybe this is Frankenstein.
I don't know why we're sending space shuttles after him.
I didn't notice.
That was like a space shuttle to me.
Oh,
the
no.
dorsal plates going fucking crazy up in here.
Oh, that's
this
amazing.
This does really make me think of Godzilla 1984/1985. The face.
I have never seen this cover, ever. This is... I was clearly missing this from my existence. Sheesh.
Really, really reminds me of it. So I'm almost thinking that they're looking at those and just said, yeah, do whatever. Also, why is the Statue of Liberty here? When does that happen? It doesn't. Doesn't happen at all in any part
Escape
of the movie.
from New York
Any
and
version of the
Godzilla.
movie. So that's crazy. I don't think there was a single movie where anything happens in New York up until fucking Final Wars.
Incorrect, Mr. McMuscles. Godzilla did in fact visit New York in Destroy All Monsters, 1968. Blah. We're nerds.
I mean, obviously Godzilla 1998, but we're not really counting that right now. Obviously not part of it. Nuts. I actually do like this in that it's...
Was the artist on Whippets. Honestly, man, either that or he just said, screw it. I want to make the Godzilla of my dreams. And he had very, very traumatic dreams.
Very bootleg and very,
yeah.
What does Godzilla look like? Oh, okay. Just a big buff fucking Trogdor arm and a big reptilian face. That's like, did I do that? Like
this is almost what you would imagine the Shin Godzilla 5th forms might eventually mutate and grow up into after a while. Like, it's something about that vibe, man.
It's what they were going for, and they sure nailed it. I mean, it is an image, for sure. It is composed somewhat in an exciting way, even if it's not accurate at all. I'm going to give this one 3.5 Statues of Liberty out of 5.
Alright. It's a mecha...
Now we have something that
I don't remember this one either. Wow. That is a Mecha G. That's
drew on my Trapper Keeper.
It's not bad. Like, it's a cool, weird Elseworlds version of Mechagodzilla, but that's a like, it's more like a 1950s smooth bot version of him than combined with the 1991 Godzilla suit. Looks like a prototype design. Yeah, for real. Like, it looks like classic sci-fi proto MG, just for real.
Inadvertently, Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster.
Yeah.
Yes, in some releases, Mechagodzilla was just called the Cosmic Monster, which isn't
like. It does look weird, but honestly, props to the artists. Like, they tried, man. Like, the details are going hard. The look of retro Mechagodzilla is actually awesome, even though the poor dude is getting completely obliterated here. But man, it's not a bad effort, but it's just they went a little too hard in some ways.
And too out of place because he was made by aliens. Okay, so Godzilla seems to be breathing fire again, but the fire is getting sucked up into a vacuum underneath Mechagodzilla's head? Because that's what it looks like to me. I don't get the velocity or the trajectory that he's shooting.
They were predicting
atomic fire
Mechagodzilla
breath
2.
and slicing off his head.
Absorption.
That's not what I get at all. Or there's weird noxious fumes leaking.
I can imagine IDW using the design as either an easily destroyed mech before the real one appears or as a blueprint in the background. Fair. Maybe it's long due that Mechagodzilla himself has a junior, and we're just looking at what could be Mechagodzilla Junior. It's time. I think it's time.
Out of Mechagodzilla's chest cavity, and Godzilla's like, yeah, let me smoke some of that shit.
Again, Matt,
just get in that.
are you?
And I don't know who this really. This is the
so many drug
sexiest
references
Silver
in this
Age
one, my
version of Mechagodzilla I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Why
Silver
is he
Age.
so sexed up? There's just something about it.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I've got it on our to-do list with my best buddy, but we were actually planning on watching Star Chaser: The Legend of Orin, and yeah, getting kind of some of them sex bot vibes going on here a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Good stuff, Xena. An explosive Godzilla adventure. I'm not even sure. Now looking at this, maybe this is like a book cover or something.
Is indeed a VHS
It could
cover.
be.
Okay.
I tried my best to like search for stuff and like confirm what it is. That it's not like, random things that people made on Etsy. There's a lot of that. This seemed like it was legit, but it's also not.
This is not the one I
legit
was familiar
at all.
with.
But it was called this, the versus the Cosmic Monster in releases. So maybe it is. But like, goddamn. They looked at one. They were told what Mechagodzilla looks like, and yeah, that's good enough. Just an angry robot with consummate V teeth, and that's kind of it. I mean, it's not terrible as an actual drawing, right? It's only like the pink clouds and then the red clouds above. It's just a clashing of color.
Yeah, some of the color choices here are a little baffling, and I can only assume that it's because this version was made in the 90s. I mean, it would have to be, I think, because of the Heisei Godzilla design here, but not understanding the pink clouds other than just for contrast.
Colors up there. And yeah, the posing is a bit awkward, but overall, I think Xena understood the assignment. Two monsters fighting. So I can't be mad at that. I'd say 2.9 Mechagodzilla heads out of 5.
Another terror. All right.
Next up, we're going to have
Okay.
another Mechagodzilla.
Yep. So, yeah, pretty much any of the ones from this series we had. Digitally remastered. Ooh, I didn't remember that. Yeah, I was never a big fan of this era of digital coloring, not even in comic books, especially on Mechagodzilla here, who weirdly enough kind of looks like a Mouser from Ninja Turtles a little bit. Just kind of looks like a metal rat, but looks like a Super Sentai Fever Dream. You're not wrong. But yeah, I was just never a big fan of this kind of period of digital coloring, and I think it's just because of the limitations of cheaper digital art programs at the time and how developed they were. But it just weird. I mean, it looks cheap. It just inevitably looks very cheap. And because Mechagodzilla just looks so odd, back of the head reminds me of Darth Vader or something. Yeah, I see the vision there. Man.
Godzilla appearance and Terror of Mechagodzilla digitally remastered. So, because of that, the Terra Mecha Godzilla.
Still like the font, though. Font is still good.
That made 2 of the other previous box arts. Because this Godzilla face looks very accurate. Not very accurate to the monster, of course, but accurate to the illustrations we saw before. It's an interesting Mecha Godzilla, I have to say. It seems like a combination of Showa era, like 70s era Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, and 80s a little bit. Or
it wasn't in the 80s, man.
Dinobot.
That
kind of looks like a Dinobot.
Yeah.
That bright red.
Yeah, that's the missing piece I wasn't seeing, was something in the Transformers vibe. Yeah.
Background, that's pretty crazy. That's very crazy. But it's still a cool image. Like, it's still, like, unlike the King Ghidorah one, the Monster Zero one, I should say. The full breadth of the fight is being felt enough here. They're grappling, they're doing real graps.
Yeah. Me, Mechagodzilla, kick butt!
Shooting a bit of fire again with the fire. I like how it's all reflecting off a shiny surface. That's cool. I just don't like Godzilla's frumpy, like, sludgy head. It just doesn't look great. Mechagodzilla looks way better, in all honesty. Now, because this is Terra Mechagodzilla, I do want to dock a point for not including Titanosaurus in some way. I love me Titanosaurus. Monster Island Buddies is wrong about that.
Wait, what?
Titanosaurus is super cool.
Oh. Admittedly, I haven't watched all of Monster Island Buddy's library, but I guess I wasn't aware that he wasn't as big of a fan of old Titano. I don't know. Haven't I need to backtrack and actually watch more of his stuff, because weirdly I haven't really seen very much. I know he's like super popular in the community, but and he is a collector. I mean, he's like me. He definitely obsesses over the collecting side of the fandom, but just never really watched very much of him.
But other than that, I kind of like it. I guess the only thing else aside from the frumpy head is just like the red's a little harsh. Right, the red's a little harsh, but yeah, not bad. I actually do kind of like this. Let's see, 3.1 Titanosauruses out of 5.
We're almost to the end here.
Gonna be honest with you, we got our last picture.
Wait a minute.
And this is an official, as far as I know. Last cover art here, and.
I think Monster Island Buddy's warmed up to Titanosaurus. He just portrays him as a lunatic. Oh, okay. So I guess so. They do skits and things. I've watched so little of him. All I really have known has just been some of his more recent videos and his room tour and things of that sort.
I'm going to press the button to bring it up. After that, I'm going to be silent for about like 10 seconds. So
I was wondering what he was getting at here.
All in.
What the? Wait a minute. Well, I mean, after all, our favorite character, clearly the best character in Godzilla vs. Mothra 1964 was most certainly the Carnotaur that pops in and eats the industrialists. I mean, man. Also love that it advertises at the bottom here that it includes the Godzilla vs. Bambi short. When I was growing up, my copy of Godzilla 1985 had the Bambi short in front of it on the tape, so it always feels a little empty when I start up 84 or Return of Godzilla or anything, and I don't get the Bambi short, so sometimes I have to remember to go back. And strangely, I think Godzilla would look badass with Carnotaur horns. I mean, lately Toho has been a lot more open to reinterpreting the design on the character in some pretty drastic ways, so who knows how long it'll take for him to actually start getting some bigger adornments on his head. We got him with some pretty hefty Gamera tusks there in Singular Point, so who knows? The Monopoly game references Bambi short in a cheeky way. Oh, really? I have not played the Monopoly game. Do tell, do tell.
All right.
I also love we clearly have a European release here in color. We've got the British, we got the European spelling of color, or maybe Canadian.
So, get the fuck out of the way, King Kong. Step aside for Dollar Tree Godzilla. Or Dollar Tree, like...
Wait, what? Godzilla Hulk Lizard with Clarity-proof breath and megadecimal shriek battles? What the frick, Ramsey?
Beast from 20,000 Fathoms? Or not even that, from the movies Carnosaur? But, yeah. Godzilla vs. the Thing, if you might remember, Godzilla vs. the Thing is just Godzilla vs. Mothra. What's Godzilla? Oh, he's a dinosaur. Okay, we'll just photograph this weird, disturbing model I have in my backyard. Cool.
Like, I mean, at least it says that Mothra's there under the image. But here's the thing. I am used to having films from my youth on VHS that had some pretty lackluster covers. All right, like sometimes really bad low resolution images, sometimes things from the wrong movie, you know, but usually at least still in the same ballpark. But just, wow, this is a special level of we did not give a shit.
Godzilla Hulk Lizard with chlorette-proof breath and megadecimal shriek battles Mothra the monster moth.
Oh boy.
What? Right, Godzilla the Hulk Lizard with chlorette-proof breath.
Don't make him angry. He gets bigger and stronger when you make him angry. Oh, what are we doing?
And megadecimal shriek.
Wait. Famous cult short with hysterical black humor twist. I mean, yeah, for like all of the minute and a half that it lasts, everybody knows, you know, knows the ending, but just... Whew.
So, he has a megadecimal shriek. I wouldn't consider what Godzilla does a shriek, but okay. Battles Mothra, the monster moth. And you're not really giving Mothra any big ups in there. No compliments at all. Hollywood House video, worth collecting? Absolutely not. Charlie Chaplin would be embarrassed. I don't know what's going on.
Charlie Chaplin
here.
finally makes it.
Oh, it's a screenshot of fucking Godzilla versus Bambi. Spoilers, Bambi loses. Famous cult short with hysterical black humor twist. Well... I mean, it does, but it's also like 10 seconds long. I did have this Godzilla vs. Bambi as a bonus on Godzilla in 1985.
Yep,
on my
he had the same one.
VHS rental store. That particular version I rented did have that, so that's just kind of funny. I'm glad they put it into other editions.
Yeah.
But this is horrible. It's very disturbing. It reminds me of Godzilla creepypasta. Right? This seems like the devil dinosaur, the Satan of dinosaurs.
Oh,
possibly...
this thing. This thing. Look, I'm not into the creepypasta or analog horror genre stuff within the fandom or in general, but I did watch this one. And we got some twisted people in this community. I was creative, I'll give it that, but I don't know if you can really justify calling this a Godzilla, but alright, you know, fair enough. It's creative. It was effectively creepy. I will give it that.
Diablo from Primal Rage. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Too much going on down here. The red just makes me feel anxiety. And you didn't even get fucking Mothra in there. And it's not even close. It's like the worst depiction of Godzilla so far.
0 out of 10.
Ever, when you really think about it. And King Kong would not step aside. Not for this box art. Maybe I could do a King Kong box art someday. I think there's some silly ones out there. Anyway, That will leave you on this most disturbing note as we stare into this Godzilla's singular Shin-esque eye.
I mean, it kind of looks like the little solid plastic dinosaur toys I would have had as a kid, to be honest. The more twisted people are those that went after unknowingly. If you know, you know. I do not know. And in fact, horror like this partially inspired my take on Heisei Hedora, so it succeeds there. That is, I mean, that's fair. Like, if you want to reinterpret certain things in the fandom with a little bit of a horror twist or up the ante and the stakes on some stuff, yeah, because yeah, your Hedora definitely in your fan comic absolutely did have that sort of horror slash Nausicaa gods sort of thing going on, where it's like, holy frick, how are we going to survive this kind of stuff? And it was effective, but just some of the fan films have just taken on this insane life of their own, and I'm just not exposed to enough of it. I don't really understand the analog horror stuff. It's not really my thing, but hey, if the kids are enjoying it, I guess I won't poop on the parade, you know. Unknowingly was the creator of Man in the Suit. Oh. Okay, yeah. I did hear about that. That's right, because that ended up going all over my timeline for some reason, and it actually bothered me because people were doing this thing that we unfortunately do a lot of times on the internet, which is we jump to conclusions before we know all the facts. And everybody was like, he's dead, and blaming the fans really hard, like broad brushing other fans really hard for bullying and all this other stuff. I'm like, whoa, wait. Pump the brakes. Like, yeah, it sucks that, stupid people are online and bullying happens, but there's clearly, this poor guy needed help and just needed to get some things in order, but you gotta make sure your facts are facts before you go reporting that somebody died. It just, I don't know, that whole thing just kind of bothered me a little bit. It's like people were very quick to jump to conclusions and start playing blame games. But I'm glad he's all right. I mean, I hope he's gotten a lot of help and he's feeling a lot better and getting things in order and has what he needs. I didn't know the fandom pushed him that far. Unfortunately it seemed like his mental health was in pretty dire straits there for a little while. But, internet community stuff sometimes just gets a little crazy.
Hey, no, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, this was
Let
fun.
me know if
This
there's
was
any
good.
other Godzilla art you'd like me to cover in the future in a video like this. I think this is pretty much in line with the other video game magazine videos I've done in the past. So I do hope you...
No, it's good, Sentai. It's fine. It's just... it just made me a little frustrated because, like, obviously I don't have any ill will towards other fans, and I don't think the majority of kaiju fans out there are malicious people. We're just enjoying our community, and we have our little dramas here and there, but I was just kind of amazed how fast everybody was just jumping on this bandwagon and seeing all this stuff like, we're such a toxic community and we're so awful and how can we be like this? And I was like, what do you mean we? Like, yeah, there's bad actors in every fandom. There's horrible people that get involved in every fandom, and there's bullies online left and right, and they're stupid, but you can't just jump on and start attacking the whole fandom as a bunch of toxic, horrible people when, I mean, for my part, I didn't even know who the guy was until I was hearing about the drama. Just because, again, I don't watch those kinds of videos. So I have no ill will, and I don't think most people do, towards just some little creator. But yeah, inevitably you get those crazies in any fandom I've had those crazies. I put out a piece of fan art or some of my comics I've made, and you get people who are just like, actually, that's stupid what you did, because this character wouldn't act like that, or this monster isn't like that, or you got this fact wrong, you're stupid, why are you so stupid? Like, we understand that that's just some weird, insecure, angry little minority of people, and that's not representative of the fandom as a whole. It just is what it is. Like, for example, one year for Godzilla Fest, I think we can call it good on Mr. McMuscles here, actually, because I think that was pretty much the end of the video. But one year I took doopa-doopa-doopa-doo. So I mentioned that my little brother loves Manila. So one year I did take a Manila suit for him to wear. I made a decent Manila costume with a big bulbous head, and he really enjoyed it. But excuse me, he really enjoyed being the character. But we had the costume in the parade room, just sitting for, just where you store the suits, and we were just going about our business because I had a costume as well. And a couple of guys just were walking by looking at the suits, and they didn't know who we were, and they didn't know that we were attached to the suit. And they looked at it and they just said, "Oh man, this piece of shit. If I could get away with it, I'd just pick it up and throw this costume out in the street and watch the trucks run it over." Because they really hate Manila, apparently. And I was just like, I didn't say anything. Part of me wishes I kind of had, but I was just like, wait a minute. So you hate the character so much that you don't give a damn about the fact that somebody clearly did bring a suit and either likes the character or wanted to have fun with the character and just be entertaining and amuse people. And that was your first thought, was just like, you're so butthurt over a character you don't like that your first reaction is, I wish I could destroy the suit that somebody made. And again, that's not the majority of the fandom, and I know full well that is not the majority of the fandom. Most people are chill. Most people are like, yes, this is entertainment. This is the media arts. It's not worth. Manila haters are beyond awful and ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in getting that angry. Like, I have things I do not like in fandoms that I enjoy. Like, I think there are things that are stupid. I think the direction that some fandoms that I love that they've taken, I think are stupid. I don't waste my time going online and complaining about it, or I don't get in somebody's face. Like, I don't like Absolute Batman. I think Absolute Batman is stupid, but I know a lot of people enjoy it, and apparently it's now getting an animated series. I'll check it out. I will, but I don't really like what I've seen of Absolute Batman. But I'm not going to waste my time being a little bitch boy about it, getting on other people who do enjoy that part of the fandom. I can hate a character and I may voice it, but I will not make fun of somebody for liking them. Yeah, that's fine. There's reasonable ways to share and have a conversation about how you don't like part of a fandom or just a thing, I can imagine what's going to happen when I get back into Runaway Baron, because Manila's doing that. And see, the thing is, like, a lot more people now, I think, just kind of treat the character for what he is, just kind of funny, kind of goofy, and kind of are in on the joke more and kind of appreciate the joke a little bit. Because he's been in IDW comics now. He's been in Goji Burst. Gojibon. Like, he's been on Father's Day cards. Like, there's a humor to it now because it is silly and he is a silly character. And that's just my thing. I'm like, I've always said this, but if your fandom gets to a point where you spend more time being angry and belligerent and fighting with people than you do actually enjoying the thing that you started off innocently loving, then you need to reevaluate yourself, because clearly something has gone wrong. And it's not the fandom's fault, it's definitely your fault. Because there's plenty of stuff in fandoms I like that I don't bother with. Like, a perfect example. Remember that one guy who went on a tirade about Manila in that one post you made? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And all I did was just post the Bandai figure. But just as an example, and I'm sorry if I step on your toes here a little bit, Sentai, but I love Power Rangers. I do love Super Sentai a lot. But I hated the 2017 Power Rangers movie. I saw that thing in theaters. I took my brother. And bless him, he is innocent and he enjoys it a lot, and he bought it on DVD, and he takes it in the spirit that I suppose a more pure-minded person, pure-hearted person does. For me, I can't stomach that film. It's kind of just, it smacks in the face of a lot of things that I love about Power Rangers. I don't spend my days belittling or attacking people that do like it. I just say my piece and then I move on. I try to ignore that part of the fandom. Why should I waste time with people who hate on things just to hate them? No, I'll just enjoy the stuff I enjoy. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there is room for good civil conversation and discussion, for sure. I mean, fandom is also about having fun conversations about these things and discussing why some things are, why you like them or why you don't like them. Like, there's plenty of room for that, for like good-natured debate or civil discussion about those elements of a fandom. But there is a line. There's a lot I can dislike about the 98 movie, but I won't attack people who like it. Exactly. And that's a big one in kaiju fandom that often tells me where people are mentally and emotionally, and whether they're people I would really like to be around. Because sometimes they do just really get way too attached to things that do not matter. Now, to be sure, I think some creatives can make stupid choices that really dishonor and disrespect the heritage of a character or a franchise. But again, if it's something that gets made and it's out there, like a comic or a movie or a show, and it exists, if it bothers you that much and it makes you angry, it's really just not worth your time. Debates can be fun. It's when they're taken seriously, it's not fun. Exactly. It's when the balance is too far into now you're just angry and fighting with people all the time, rather than just it consumes you, rather than it being something that you can talk about in a good-natured sense. Because, yeah, just weirdly, even though kaiju is so niche, it still has that element to it. But, like, I did not like how they interpreted Jason, Billy, Trini, Zach, Kimberly, etc., or Rita. I did not like how they interpreted the American Power Rangers world in the 2017 movie. Some of it really bothered me, especially Trini, because I loved Trini. Like, Trini and Tommy were my favorite Rangers from the original series. And, I mean, they didn't have a chance to do anything with Tommy, but Trini broke my heart. I was just like, no, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. And if somebody legitimately enjoys that movie and they don't mind that version of Trini, or that's their only version of Trini they know, then it is what it is. It's not for me to scream at them and be like, no, you don't understand. Only the original Trini. You're a moron if you don't like the... That's not going to help. That's not going to help anything. At all. I figure I might as well at least prep this image that I wanted to do for the art portion of the stream. We're not going to get to it tonight because I'm running way over time, and that is completely my fault. went a little longer on the video than I expected, and my technical difficulties were a bit much, so I do apologize for that. But I'll at least get the picture ready, because I did a lot of doodling while we were at G-Fest, and one of the images that I sketched out was surprisingly very popular and very well liked, and it was just this silly little cutesy-wootsy image here of Anguirus and Shimo. just being a little adorable. He's just like, oh, I kind of like you. You're kind of cute. And she's just like, oh, hi, short stuff. So, I do like me some cute chibi kaiju art, but I'm just gonna prep it. I'm gonna get it ready for another stream, because we have gone over jeez, we're closing in on 3 hours. Thank you immensely to everybody that has stuck with me for the majority of this stream. Holy crap, I did not expect to go this long, but I appreciate you, because I think it was over 20 days since the last time I had streamed. Good night, Sentai. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you very, very much. But yeah, I needed to get back into streaming. It's been way too long, so we're gonna try and make things a little bit more regular now that we're back from G-Fest, and now that we can do the YouTube stuff, hopefully next time a little more smoothly. Yeah, and it'll be fun to throw that into the mix too. So, thank you everyone for taking part and joining us. And remember, it is really quite a thrill to try and make people laugh, because no matter what your heartache might have been, while laughing for a few seconds, you've forgotten about it. And I personally believe that we were all put here for a purpose, to build and not to destroy. And if someday you're not feeling well and you remember some silly little thing I've said or done, and it brings a smile to your face and a chuckle to your heart, then my purpose as your clown has been fulfilled. And I'm happy to do that. And happy to share maybe some silly little things that you weren't aware existed, like Mr. McMuscle's video. So we'll see what else we might dig up. And if you have any suggestions and stuff that you particularly enjoy, I will be open to listening to what you also enjoy and have in mind there. So thank you so much. You guys have an awesome rest of your evening, and gotcha bagoose.